right, y'all. I think, yes, you are still sounding crazy, but we are preparing to live stream. I can't tell if we are live or not. So let me.
We are live.
It
There's
We
says
no
are
we're
sign that
live.
live.
says live. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I see the live. All right, y'all. We are live. Yay. I did something right. I'm not even technologically savvy, but I did something right today. I'm so proud of me. All right, y'all. We're going to give people a minute to hop on in the room. Hop in the room. And let me. We're going to introduce ourselves and get this story, get this conversation started. How many of y'all nervous about this? Y'all going to be able to keep y'all cool? Y'all know what things you want to ask, you want to say?
Honestly, I'm just looking to listen. Listen to actually comprehend instead of just to respond.
I love it. That's dope. Well, we are now. We're gonna have to do something about this audio. It's not working. It's not working for us today. We're gonna have to figure it out. I'm not sure what we doing wrong, but we gotta remedy it like ASAP. It's not working. Oh, sorry, y'all. Try to go out and come back in one more time, Nat. And then I think we're waiting just for Dion to come back. Will, Katrina, are you guys with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. And we gonna get to see you, Mr. Patience.
Yeah, you'll see me in a second.
Oh, okay. You getting yourself together too. I feel it. I feel you. Okay, let's see if this works with Natalie. Welcome, Katrina. Hello.
Hey. Who the flip wanna call me?
Okay, did y'all have the opportunity to look at the rules?
Yes.
Yes. Any questions about the rules?
That sound better.
Yes.
There it is.
I had to leave my laptop alone, y'all, and get on my phone.
Welcome back, Natalie.
Yes, welcome back, Nat. The
Glad to see you
laptop
in the
was trying
number.
to stop this greatness.
You won't stop me.
Well, welcome, sis. We glad you're here. There we go. Hey, honey. Hey,
Hey. I'm happy to be here and heard without sounding like a horror movie.
That was scary.
My apologies. My apologies.
And I'm really a punk in real life. I be so scared of certain things. Sir. Yeah, I don't mess with the candy person. I don't. Candy.
You can borrow some of my gangster.
Yeah, there's not enough gangster for him. We don't bother him.
Okay, well, borrow some of Tony's gangster.
No, that ain't gangster with Tony. I'm gonna go investigate in the woods, and we don't do that. That's how the black people get killed. We don't do that.
He come with that Scooby-Doo energy.
I do not go investigate in nobody's woods. What I'm saying is fictional works do not scare me. That's all.
But ain't it based on the true story?
If it is based on, takes away the credibility. It ain't a true story based on.
But Chainsaw Massacre was based on.
Right. But that's a whole human. I don't live in Texas. I ain't scared of him either.
Okay, so travel ain't a thing for you. They not crossing lines or none of that.
Look, Michael Myers drove all the way from Illinois to California on one take of gas. If that's reality, because ain't no way you telling me Mr. Myers stopped at the damn gas station to fill that damn truck up that he stole and booked it across the country.
You put way too much thought Way
I'm
too
just
much
saying
to
Michael
thought.
life.
Myers should have been
First
dead
of
in
all.
But it's all
1992
facts
at the
though.
very least.
I bet it's all
So
facts.
what the
Don't
hell I
encourage
look like
this
being
way.
scared
That's
of?
facts.
You
It's
see,
facts.
Michael ain't never brought his ass to the hood, and when he did, Busta Rhymes beat his ass. That's all I'm saying.
But who finna play with Busta Bus? Okay.
Nobody, and that was Skinny
Okay.
Bus. That wasn't even Swole Bus.
Oh, I
Wouldn't have been no
definitely
more
think
sequels if he had came up
Bus.
against Busta Rhymes right now.
Look, well, y'all is on y'all own. I don't play around with none of them. Michael Myers is all right with me too. Jason, you can have the lake.
You
Freddie,
can have
I
the
wasn't
lake.
enjoying this dream no way, so let me get out
Talking about some tap out.
to y'all could have all of that. I want 0 parts. But because we already super late, we running in.
I wouldn't say super.
Oh, okay. I got the sorry,
Mr.
y'all.
Producer.
Mr. Producer came in and said we got too much headspace.
Come
Bring
on,
it
Mr.
down.
Producer. Get us together.
He
Get us
help
right
us.
together.
He gave me like he done came in with the let there be light as well. Y'all
I
see.
saw. Did he also hand you a glass of wine? Because are we doing that as well?
That's a good point. Mr. Producer, I'm thirsty.
I don't have no wine, but I have grapes. Does that count?
No.
Is it
No.
fermented?
No.
It's not.
If it's
They
not
crack.
fermented, then if it's just regular grapes, no, it doesn't count. That's
That's right.
sparkling
But they
cider.
seeded though. They no GMO. Okay. They got seeds in them. Y'all know how hard it is to find grapes with seeds in them?
Yeah, that doesn't count. That
It
doesn't
ain't
count.
that hard. Go to Sam's
It is
Club.
not
They
that
got a
hard
bunch
to find seeded grapes. Seeded grapes.
I be struggling. Maybe y'all in them affluent areas or something.
I mean,
Maybe I'm too close to a food desert or something.
This, she's got us there, Tony. She's
my
got
privilege is showing. Let me shut up.
Your privilege is showing.
Don't put it on him.
Showing.
You said the same thing, sir.
Well,
And her face did the same thing mine did when you said it. I was like, oh, you're right. Let me shut up. I don't live in no food desert.
Well,
okay, we're gonna talk about it. Okay.
Well, technically, I'm on the border of privilege. I'm not quite.
Okay.
I'm
Not
on the
privilege
border.
adjacent.
You privileged adjacent? Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Privilege
Privilege
adjacent.
adjacent. Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about it, sir.
No, we don't need to talk about it.
No.
I'll
Elaborate on the
receive it.
adjacent to the privilege.
I receive
Privilege
it.
adjacent.
She's privileged adjacent.
That's a
Are
hashtag.
y'all
right?
ready to have this conversation? I'm so
Oh,
excited. Yeah, I'm changing the subject. I'm
I'm
changing the subject. I feel attacked. I'm changing the subject. Ain't this why we having this
That's
conversation
why we here.
now?
You absolutely right, sis. We here
I do
for it.
not feel protected in this moment.
I'm sorry. That's your
I'm not
privilege, though. I'm
protected.
sorry.
But I am so glad to have this panel. Thank y'all for being here and having this conversation. For those of y'all joining us who doesn't know about what this show is about in particular, we gonna listen today. So we gonna talk, but we gonna mostly listen. So the whole point of this show is to have black women talk to each other about how we hurt each other. And I wanted to have this conversation uninterrupted. So when the men are speaking, as hard as it's gonna be for me, especially as a woman, because I be having
for you, sis. For you.
especially for me, because sometimes I get a little triggered, right? We're going to be muted. So women are not going to be able to intervene, to interrupt. Look at that. Oh, got the win.
Yes,
And
Mr. Producer.
and my glass says, oh wait, it says this. See, my sister gonna be mad at me. My sister got me this glass because it says happiness is drinking wine with my sister, and she ain't here, so we got matching mugs.
Hold on, can we count? We got sisters on the line. Shanae's here. I'm here. Okay.
Yes,
Shanae
Shanae
got her glass. Hold on.
I see you, sis.
Real quick.
Libations.
Before we hop into this conversation, y'all know I'm alkaline, all right? I've been trying to live my life right and not drink alcohol, okay? But I found some herbal libations, spirits, with herbs in it instead of liquor. It's a win for me. It's a win for me.
What kind of herbs we talking about now?
Mind your business, Tony. Mind your business.
Business be minded. Business.
No judgment.
No, I'm gonna show y'all the bottle later. It's called
And this is a judgment-free
Zone.
zone. We're having a judgment-free
Right.
conversation today. We are going to listen. And so the rules are no interruptions. You can't unmute. You have to allow the space. Every man, every woman will get 3 minutes to express ways that they feel hurt by Black people, Black men, even if it's your fellow sisters, because I think sometimes we hurt each other too. So the whole point is for us to express our pain with each other and try to find common ground. And so we could start the healing process. And we need to be able to listen because we don't do that often. We listen to respond and not to understand and not to relate. And so I'm hoping that this will inspire conversations across the community and we can start listening and we can find that common ground because I think we're asking for the same things. We just can't hear it. So I wanted to have this conversation. I'm super excited that we have these lovely people on this panel. Some of you have been here with us before. Some of you have not. So we got some newbies. So I'm glad to have the newbies. This is a safe space. We do have a safe word. So if things is getting tough for you, we want you to take care of yourself. So make sure you use table. If something's hit a chord, if you just like, I need a moment to process, and we need to kind of come back, change the subject, laugh a little, cool tempers, tend to listen better, you can use the safe word of table. That means we're gonna table this for now. We're gonna take a break. Okay. This is authentic, serious conversation, y'all. This is a safe place. This is a no judgment zone. We are listening today. Any questions before we start? I see a little worry. Are we worried?
We ready.
We ready? Okay, that's ready, not worry. Ready, not worry. I like that. I like that. Well, first, let's introduce our guest, Nat. We all know Tony, because I'm just going how I see him on my screen. Tony's been with us a couple times. He came with the BS earlier today, talking about Candy Gentleman, and we not doing that. We're not doing that. So welcome again, Tony. We're glad to have you. We have Shanae. She's new, but I have gotten the opportunity to spend lots of space with her. Dope sister. So glad to have you. Say hello.
Peace and love, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, we are happy to have you. We got Wayne, who's tried to join us before. We got him for real this time. He here.
Definitely. I appreciate being here.
Yes.
See him, we hear him and everything. Listen, won't he do?
All the facts.
He got a little background and all. Check that out.
It's all there. We got Mr. Patience, who's been with us a few times. Welcome back, Will.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We glad to have you.
Let's see. Okay.
That's Mr. Patience right there. He has a lot of it. I admire it too, because I don't have enough. So I'm hoping to listen today too, Mr. North. So thank you for being here. We got Miss Katrina, who's a newbie. Welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Hello, we're glad to have you. And y'all know Miss Dion Victoria, who I still need to give me a magnificent painting from, because this sister here is dope. Yes.
Hey.
Oh, we gonna talk about that painting, Dion.
Listen, we got an art auction coming up in October, so
let me I'm gonna have to put that in my book. So
yes.
We already run it a little bit on CPT, and I want to make sure we have ample time to get into it. So let's start. Now, I originally said because I feel that men don't get the space to talk first. So I wanted to allow the men to have the opportunity to speak first. So I'm going to ask the question or the prompt. We don't have to stick to these prompts, but this is just to get us started. And then all women are to be muted. No women can unmute. We just have to listen. Each man has 3 minutes to talk about this particular prompt. Are y'all ready? Y'all feeling good?
Ready.
Okay. The prompt is, I wish Black women understood that.
Who going first?
You
Oh,
take it.
damn. I didn't want to go first, but I guess. I wish Black women understood what it meant to be a man's piece. I think that a lot of Black men don't have, or they don't have an acknowledgement of a lot of safe spaces or spaces where they can feel safe to actually share their feelings, to be actually, able to tell, their brothers in the streets, or, their family, or even their woman, you know what I'm saying, about the things that they encounter just on a day to day. And I think that has been conditioned in most men to like not talk about your problems, which is why we have things like high blood pressure, hypertension, which is why we seem so aggressive with our women, because a lot of men, those who weren't fortunate enough to escape that conditioning, a lot of men were raised to only understand two emotions, up or down. I'm either extremely happy or I'm in the pits right now. It's no gray area. And it's hard to discuss with a woman or Black women in general how we feel articulately without triggering them. So being a Black man's piece is very, very hard to achieve, because we say, I just want you to be my piece, but we don't necessarily know how to articulate how you can be our piece. And we frustrate ourselves and we tell our women, hey, you're not listening to me. You say you want a man to be like this, this, and this. Well, this is it. But it's not exactly what you were asking for, because you had a specific vision as to what this was supposed to look like. But what it really means to be a Black man is to be that broken vase that's been repaired with gold and everything else in between that. Because some of us might have not had the fortune of having our fathers around. And some of us may not have had the fortune of having a man who understood the complexities of emotions that you can go through as a human being. And even more so, we might not have had a man around just to show us how to be a real nigga. I hate to say it like that, but that's just to be as real as possible. You know what I'm saying? How I as a father got through some shit while trying to take care of my son, or how I as a father, or how I as a man dealt with finance, how I dealt with relationships, how I dealt with my work relationships, how I dealt with any of this. How did you get through it? And I think that segues into another issue that we can talk about later as a community, where, we don't give enough detail about how we got through some shit, especially when you become successful. When I'm asking you as my nigga, man, how did you do that? I need you to run from A to Z. And it's up to me to decide if I want to put in that amount of effort.
All right, Wayne.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, I mean, I didn't want to stop you because you said a lot. And I want to encourage everybody here on the panel to take notes, because there will be a discussion. We want to be able to discuss. So we're going to listen, but then we're going to discuss. And you said some real stuff there that kind of hit me. that I'm just like, who, and even Robert here in the background, like, hmm, hmm. So definitely some true serum. Thank you. Please take notes, y'all. Who is the next man for his 3 minutes? And the prompt is, I need Black women to understand, or I wish Black women understood.
So I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off my man Wayne. I wish Black women understood that Black men need safe spaces more than they really realize that we do. And I think that we're kind of entering this age of people kind of understanding mental health a little bit more and people respecting it a little bit more. But in men, that still hasn't quite manifested itself yet. You know, I'm assuming we've all been raised and heard that, boys are easy to raise, girls are hard. And when people say that, a lot of the times they're assuming that boys are easy to raise because boys aren't emotional. We've talked about this before. People assume that men aren't emotional because they don't consider anger an emotion. And a lot of times we're conditioned to only show anger or contentment. I'm not even gonna say happy, because if you're too happy, fuck you so happy for? Like, why do you find so much joy in this? You're not allowed a certain level of happiness. You could see women jumping up and down, being giddy and shit about anything. If a man does that, there's all these stereotypes that come with that. So we're allowed anger, no matter what level of anger that is, and we're allowed contentment. But there's this whole slew of complex emotions that exist between those things and beyond those things that a lot of times we can't or are not allowed to express. And I hear women all the time saying that they want a man that's vulnerable. I want you to open up to me and all these other things. But I question whether most women could really accept and understand a man that truly opens up and talks about the real shit, talks about the weight of the world that's on them, talks about the things that they dream about, talks about the things that they're afraid about. Because the fear, I feel like, doesn't get talked about enough. Whether it's the fear of failure, whether it's just a fear of walking in this world and like how you're going to be perceived. I Out of all the guys that I know, I feel like I'm one person who I kind of don't really care a lot about what people think about me and like how I'm perceived and all those things. And even like somebody like me, I still, like, everything that I do is calculated. And then I find myself going like, why the fuck do you care? Why do you care? Like, do it anyway. And I'm like, if I, the person who does it anyway, I still have those voices in my head, still feels this way after all these years, what does the guy who is expected to be, like, oh yeah, he hard, oh he's super low key, oh he's that cool dude, nothing shakes him. What the fuck? What do you mean nothing shakes him? Something shakes everybody. And nobody uses those descriptions for women because women aren't expected to behave in that way. Women aren't expected to be leaned on in that way. And while I understand that we are biologically and socially very different, with men still are not as rock hard as a lot of women expect them to be. And I see so many social media posts, and I understand that the loudest voices aren't always the majority. I see so many social media posts talking about what a real man is supposed to be. Oh, if he was a man, then you wouldn't let that happen. And it's like, I'm a man because I consider myself a man. I am not maybe the man that you want me to be or need me to be, and that's perfectly fine. But this black and white description of man is bullshit, and it's dangerous. And I think that that's the first thing that needs to go if we're going to step into healing.
Whew. Okay, you know, I'm speechless because you guys are hitting on some really important points, and that's the whole point why we're having this conversation. I'm pleased that you all are just being so open and you guys are laying it out there, and it's what we need to hear. If we're gonna listen, we need to listen. Thanks, Tony. Mr. Patience, who's
You can just
always
call me
being
Brother Will.
patient.
You can just call me Will. It's okay.
All right,
You can
Brother
call me
Will.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
No, I just love what the brother said before me, actually. And I was taking notes, and I didn't want to kind of go off on it, but you know, just some really important points that Wayne brought up around, I think, transparency, about like the ability for people to be transparent about. I'm talking about men now, to instruct. He's talked about from A to Z, which I really like. That I think that there needs to be spaces, you know, and I think as a community we have to work on that. Allowing spaces for people to really be open and talk about their struggles in an authentic way. And not a lot of people are willing to do that, particularly if you don't have that relationship with them. But again, I digress. I don't want to go off. I think, you know, we could talk about that later. And then, you know, in previous conversations, I know we've had, to Tony's point about being vulnerable and expressing that with your, you know, just anybody you're in a relationship, having the freedom, having the space to be vulnerable to someone. And I know you and Natalie were getting on to me one time about how I advise people I advise a lot of guys not to open up too much to their partners, to their romantic partners. And I advise them against it, because a lot of people will say that they want somebody who's emotionally available. But I agree with what Tony said. I don't think society conditions us to really want that. People say that, and it sounds nice to say that, but you don't really want that. I think most people don't want that. Because again, when you open up in that way, you will be looked at differently. And you know, again, I don't advise people to do that, because I think you need to find spaces where you can open up and be vulnerable. I think that's necessary, but I tend to advise against that, and I'm really honest about it. But I would say that I think one thing that I agree with the two brothers that came before me. One thing that I wish women would know, and I think I wish more men knew, is to give people that you have any kind of relationship with, give these men that you have any kind of relationship with, the range and the space to kind of express the fullness of their humanity. And you know, I think it's helpful to allow for that, right? So don't think less of somebody if they do decide to open up to you in that way. Don't think less of them. Don't think that they've fallen in your eyes if they open up to you and express, you know, their emotions, or express ways that they can be vulnerable to you. So that's all I was going to say. But I think that applies to women and men. With your boys, let them be the person that allows them to do that, to open up, to vent, to express themselves. So that's all I was gonna say.
A lot. And I appreciate the fact that you guys are all connected with your points. So they're all part of the same umbrella, right? And the point is, safety is that we think we're providing a level of safety for you, but maybe we aren't providing that safety like you need. And so one of the biggest things about support that people don't understand is it's very unique to the person. Support looks different for everybody. And it's not what our idea of support is. So what I heard was, we're not supporting you the way you actually need to be supported. And that we need to have better information on what support looks like from us for you guys, which includes safety, right? Having a safe space to be human, to express your humanity, to be vulnerable. We did give you a hard time that time, Will. We did. We gave you a hard time.
Absolutely.
Me and Nat, we like, in all fairness, you know, we jumped on him when he said that, we were like, oh no, Will, that is like abort mission. Don't do that. Because for us, yes, we do ask for that vulnerability, but are we actually meeting it when you give it to us? Are we actually providing that safety when you give it to us? Are we making you regret that vulnerability? Are we making you feel unsafe with that vulnerability? And I don't think we ask ourselves that questions when we are not getting that emotional accessibility. So I think that what y'all said was like, you know, I had to swallow a little bit of that, myself. A little rough going down. Need a little bit more than wine to swallow it. But I'm a little parched, Dion. But it was definitely important. So before we head to the women's perspective, how can we do better? Men, how can we do better for those things?
I just wanted to say something real quick to follow up on that. One of the ways is not to bring it, like say somebody opens up to you, say your man, he opens up to you. Don't bring it up in an argument later on. That's one thing that I didn't mention before. Like if somebody opens up to you, don't use that against him, a month or two in the future. Okay. And y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Like you, in confidence, you say something and say, oh, that's why you could do
this. This why you be depressed right here.
Yeah,
you keep doing.
Exactly, right?
Whoa.
So, that's one way. Don't use it against an argument. Find another way. If you really want to help them, find another way to bring that up later on. But don't use it in an argument when you're all emotional and everything. That'll discourage him from ever opening up again.
Yeah, and along those same lines, I think that it's important to note. Like, we don't need you to necessarily fix it. I'm not opening up to you for you to come in and fix the problem. And I know that's a man trait as well. You're like, oh, okay, I got it. I got your back. I'm gonna fix that shit. But I think women do it too, but to a different degree. Women a lot of times will start moving different because now I've revealed something to you, and you're like, okay, well, what part do I play in that? And that's valid, and that's worth a conversation. But I think a lot of times what women will start doing is internalizing that and saying, oh, it's my fault. And so now I'm moving completely different. And I'm like, well, why are you doing that? And once I see that that's happening now, I don't feel as forthcoming next time. I don't want to tell you next time because now you're doing things and you're making me feel weird. I'm like, no, I just told you, take it, internalize it, but don't make it your problem now. Cause now I'm like, now I feel like I have to soothe you for my shit. Chill out.
Yeah. I think one way that the sisters can do better is you have to commit to the change. Because I know as Black women, y'all ask a lot of Black men, no cap. Black men are just held to a different standard as opposed to what a man is supposed to be. So even if you got you a diamond in the rough and you chiseling him out and everything else to help him shine, don't forget you have to be prepared for the setting that you're going to place that gem in. So while you chiseling this diamond of a man that you're crafting and you're helping to nurture and things like that, you're gonna have to mold to the shape to be able to hold this man. You have to commit to the change. Just like you want your man to stop doing this, stop doing that, or do more of this, do more of that. When he's asking you to change your habits, to love him better, because that's what you're essentially asking of a person when they have bad habits, like not being truthful or staying out too late or over promising, over delivering, whatever it is, whatever their bad habits are, you're asking them to change that and committing to that change that you see them do less and less and less of it. You have to commit to when that person in turn asks you to love them the way that they need. Whatever their love language is, whatever they're asking for. I think if two people are committed to changing for the better to get closer towards self-actualizing, not only for themselves, but also to have a more successful relationship, that is damn near unstoppable. Because y'all like, I just want to see you win. And I know if I'm in your corner, it ain't no way you can lose. Y'all gotta be that committed. It can't just be he's changing for me. Because the best man isn't going to suit the outdated woman. No more than a man whom has not been cut and polished, shine as bright as he need to for you in your crown. Yo, man, you the queen on the board. You can move all over you want. But your man is your crown jewel because you nurtured him to shine that bright. You got to commit to the change.
Well said. Well said, all three of you. We're going to take a deep breath. And I'm proud of us women. We was listening, y'all. This is good. This is good. We was listening.
And taking notes. Okay.
I look, I got my notebook.
Take notes. I stay ready. Okay. I got 2 pages already.
Listen, me and you both, what I heard in doing better, and back me up, Nat, if you with me on this, is consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be consistent. We need to meet y'all where y'all at, right? If we saying we want you to come here, then we got to also be there when you get there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also hearing that you are not going to weaponize my vulnerability. You're not going to weaponize when I'm trying to give you what you need, or when I fall short, or when I'm feeling down, or when I don't measure up. You're not going to weaponize it down the line. Did I hit that? Did I miss something, Nat? You got something to add, men?
There's something, one of Will points that was poignant to me, okay, was something that I see often happen in relationships is that when someone is vulnerable, instead of having a secondary conversation to talk about those feelings around what was shared, things become internalized, and therefore people start moving differently because of that information, instead of just having that conversation on, okay, well, what roles did I play? You going over it in your head, and when you start going over things in your head, it turns into a whole nother novel. Okay. So I was rocking with Will on that point as well, so I didn't want to miss that one.
No, and that's a good point. Would you say, Will, that also ties into accountability? I hear something a lot of times that Black men feel like us as Black women don't hold ourselves accountable like we should in certain areas, in certain ways. So just wondering, does that fall into what you were speaking on too? Is that having that accountability instead of moving differently and blaming you for, I'm looking at me, I'm doing some self-reflection.
And right. We also have 2 Wills, so I want to clarify.
Mr. North.
No, Tony actually was the one who made that point.
Tony made that point. Mm-hmm. Okay, look, she said Will.
That's why I was like, we got 2 Wills.
Okay,
go back and forth between calling him Tony confusion. And Will.
I call him like, Tony.
So we Tony.
Listen, I ain't never called the man Will. I've only called the man Tony.
Don't worry about it. It's all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep calling him Tony. We got 2 Wills now.
No, we got a Tony and a Will. You see, you confusing me.
See, look, I changed it so nobody would be confused, and now you're confusing everybody.
I'm sorry. It was a habit. It just rolled off. So Tony.
Truth be told, when he came in the room and he had Will up there, I was confused, but I wasn't gonna say nothing. I had to play it cool. But I was like, Now, I know him as Tony.
Tony. That's who he is. Yes, sir.
All these aliases and stuff. What's your
You know
government
how black
name?
people, be with names.
Right. We have about 15 names a piece.
Well, I'm Pookie. I'm Pookie and Peanut. But yeah, well, did I get that right? Accountability.
I mean, yeah, that's part of it, like for sure. And I think it's not about for me, accountability is not like a man woman thing. I think that like people have a hard time with accountability because it's hard to look at yourself and say that I'm the problem. Like, period. And I think that, and this may be going off topic, but I think that the single mother in the black community and this whole, black men don't take care of their kids has created this stigma that puts, women up on this pedestal. And so a lot of times it's hard to look at yourself and say that I have flaws when society has constantly told you how strong you are, how great you are, and all these, and you are those things, but it creates this mindset that's really hard to get around, and it kind of pits one against the other, which I think is one of the big reasons why we're here having this conversation right now, is because of that lie that black men don't take care of their children anymore, any less than any other race doesn't take care of their children. You know what I'm saying? Statistically, we figured out in the last couple of years that that's bullshit. We've said that it's bullshit for a long time. And we've said that just because two people aren't together, that doesn't mean that the man or the person who isn't the primary caregiver is not responsible for their children. And now we're really starting to see it. And so I think that a lot of times women have a hard time saying, that shit was kind of my fault too, because they've been put in that place, and I think that men have gotten to this place where they feel really bitter about it, because when you are a good dad and you aren't necessarily with the mom, and you hear like, all these great things about single moms and all these shitty things about dads who aren't necessarily living in the home, you get angry. And then women get defensive, and then we're here and we're going back and forth talking about who's right and who's wrong in these situations. So yeah, accountability is hard for everybody, but I think that like that's my view of why it's harder for black women to be accountable, and why men a lot of times would be like, yeah, that shit was my fault.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I'm gonna say this real quick, and then I'm gonna back up because it ain't about me. But I think a big part of that too is that we are still a bit hurt and bitter as well, because some of us have grown up not seeing the bullshitness in black men show up. A lot of people grew up without black men in their lives. A lot of black women grew up without black fathers showing up for them. And so from their view, that is their reality. And so they still speak from that place. But we gonna talk about that. I'm sure that's gonna come up. Men, thank you thus far for being so open, because I know it ain't easy, and especially because y'all have a lot of reasons to feel like this isn't a safe space. Although I think me and Nat do a good job of making this a little safe area here, except for the time we jumped on Will a little bit. We sorry, Will. We didn't mean it really.
Him in love. It was
in love. But
your emotions.
I mean, because we did kind of pounce on him. We was like, oh, hold on, we don't do that here.
I was prepared for it, but that's the loving environment that y'all created. So I felt comfortable telling you my truth. But that's fine. That's
we appreciate your truth.
We appreciate your truth. We do 100%.
And I expected it. I expected to get that reaction, but that's experience.
You took it like a champ, though. You didn't retreat. You didn't get angry. You were still calm, and you took it in stride and you listened. So thank you for that and showing up in that way, because we know that that's hard, and I'm sure y'all get the flack quite often. And so, we definitely appreciate it when you can put yourself out there for that. So, men, you all are now on mute. Okay? Y'all just listen. And it is time for the ladies. So, ladies, the prompt is, I need black men to understand or to know Go ahead.
Can I go? Because it was kind of related to where we left off with the guys.
Go right
So
ahead.
I've always had men in my life who were very much so in their children's lives. So I never knew anything about anything else. You know, I've heard stories, but didn't know anything about it. And so I never understood like bitter baby mamas and stuff like that. I'm like, why is she mad? Is she, you know, I'm sure he doing something, right? Something. Until now that I have very absent fathers for my children. Very absent. One has never met his daughter. And now I understand why women become bitter and so on and so forth. And so I guess for me is like, is there a way for men to hold each other accountable for these things? Like, because they're not listening to us. Men don't listen to us. Young men don't listen to us, let alone grown men listening to us. When I work with my students, I know there's only so far I can take it before I need to get one of the men in the room, because there's a certain level they could say, why are you doing that, sit down, in the same way that I said it, and the boy will go and sit down instead of, why I gotta sit down, Miss Milton, why I gotta do it. And it's like, hold on. I just want to be a lady and chill. Why I gotta get tough with you? I don't want to do that. So I guess it's like holding each other accountable for the mess. I've asked several guys like, yo, when your friend steps out of line, do you tell him, are you gonna are you gonna tell him, hey bro, get yourself together? Or, well, it's none of my business. Yes, it is, because if any of my women friends do things, I've actually told some friends of mine, girl, that was not okay. We're gonna have to talk about our friendship, because you can't be around me doing things like that. But apparently in some guys' lands, I imagine this isn't 100%. I can't imagine that it's 100%. But in some people's lands, it's like, no, he's gonna do that thing and I'm gonna let him because it's none of my business. So hold each other accountable for the, can I curse? Is that acceptable? Hold each other accountable for the bullshit. Like it's just not, I don't want to do it. I don't want that job. I just don't. But I'm the only one. I've seen men totally disrespect a woman, several million around, and nobody says nothing. And it's just like, I understand, like, oh, we don't know their situation, blah, blah, blah. There's also places where you do know their situation and you do know these people. I've had men who everybody else think is amazing. Oh, this person is so great. And come to find out, they hit women. They're not good to their children. They're not being stand-up men. And nobody's talking to them about it. And no, then they don't believe the woman when she comes out and says, actually, this was happening. I told people everything that was happening in my marriage, and then everybody thought I was the she-devil because I asked for a divorce. So I guess it's just hold each other accountable, like, for the bullshit. Y'all know what's going on. Like, and I'm not directly talking to y'all, I'm just talking to men in general. I imagine from the conversation, y'all are pretty stand-up guys, and y'all are like, y'all gonna check y'all friends, but check y'all friends to check they friends. And I don't know, like, I'm tired.
Thank you for
Good.
for real, because that, we know y'all tired, and we know that it's tough, and I'm sure the men on this Zoom know that as well. And the beauty in having y'all in particular show up for this conversation is because although some of this stuff may not apply to you, you are being a representative for the people we can't talk to, and you're being a voice for the people that can't speak up. And so I think that we all get that, and we knew what we were signing up for when we came. But thank you, Dion, for being open. And we know you tired, sis. We know. We also know how incredible you are, and that it's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. We gonna get this healing. We gonna get this healing together, right? Next woman, how what do you need Black men to know, or what do you need them to understand?
I guess I go. Um,
I want men to understand that it's okay to be honest with us. I feel like a lot of the times men feel like, oh, I'm gonna just sweep it under the rug. I'm not gonna say nothing about it because they feel like we can't take it. And that's not for everybody. Some women can't take the truth and honesty, but some of us can. And it's okay to let us know how you feel about this, that, and the other. Because for me personally, I feel like whether you tell me the truth or you tell me to lie about it, both of them could still hurt. But it's up to me to accept it, take it in, and go about it a more positive way. Like, yeah, I might not like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you slept with this person or whatever, but let me know that you did it. That way, we could deal with this situation right here and there. But if you lie to me about it and then I end up finding out about it, now I'm now I'm still mad and pissed off. But I probably would be more pissed off because I found out about it through some other channel versus finding it out through you directly. And you don't allow me, or you sometimes don't allow women to be able to know, like, okay, she gonna be able to take the truth, or she not gonna be able to take the truth. Y'all just automatically assume that we can't take the truth because we're too sensitive or whatever the case may be. But that's not the case for everybody. And it's okay to at least try it, you know what I'm saying, to see if your woman is able to take that truth. She might be the woman that, yeah, sometimes she can, and yeah, sometimes she can't. But again, have that conversation because it's okay. We will tell you that it's okay to tell us what's up, but y'all still won't tell us what's up. I don't know if I'm able to say another little piece, but when we are telling you our honest feelings, I want men to understand that we're not trying to attack you all the time. We just merely want to tell you how this situation made us feel. Because when we hold it in and all of that, then y'all still get mad because we done held it in, we ain't said nothing, and oh, y'all just going around here mad. No, y'all don't open the space up sometimes to allow us to be able to come to y'all and say dot dot dot. We gonna tend to shut down. I know I have. Like, okay, I can't tell you how I'm feeling without you feeling like I'm attacking you. But also, it's gonna drive me crazy that I can't tell you how I'm feeling. So that's pretty much all I can think of at the moment as to what I want men to understand, that it's okay to be honest with us and don't feel like we're always attacking you when we're trying to express to you how you made us feel about a certain situation or what have you. Yes.
You spoke some of my thoughts right there, Katrina. I'm gonna be honest, especially that piece about I'm not trying to attack you. Sometimes I just need to tell you where I'm at, and unfortunately that make you feel uncomfortable, but I feel uncomfortable feeling where I'm at, and I'm not trying to attack you, but I need some respite. Like, help me, damn it. Like, let's just figure this out. I felt that.
Yes. Because they always want us to don't vent to your friends, vent to me. I'm the problem. But when we vent to y'all, and I always say that I have said to my partner, if I tell you how I'm really feeling, I might hurt your feelings.
Mm.
And it's like I'm saying that to merely say I want to be 1000% honest with you about my feelings. I don't want to sugarcoat it or nothing like that because how I tell my girlfriend, I want to be able to tell you the same way. But of course, that's not always the natural way things go. We're going to tell our girlfriend or somebody else how we feel a different way than how we tell our partner how we feel about whatever it is that's bothering us about them.
Thanks. Thanks. Shanae?
Yes. So I got two things to say. First, I want men to know that as Black women, we still figuring it out too. You know, we still learning, we still growing. Everybody came into this world the same way, you know, naked with no manual on how to do this life thing. So, man, only thing we know is how to keep doing what we're doing, but what we're taught. But if we don't know a better way or we haven't learned a better way, then we are still growing. A lot of us are still growing. And at the same time, I also want to say, if you're not ready to evolve with that woman, let her go. Let her go. Because it's too many people emotionally bound in relationships, and that person, as a woman, she might want to go to the next level, with that partner, even within herself. But that person might not be ready to elevate. So if you're not ready to elevate, don't just keep dragging her down. Let her go. That's all I gotta say.
But you said a lot.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Go ahead now, because I saw you.
I had to hit a shout over here, sister.
I saw you. We saw it.
I felt that in my spirit. Okay. I ain't gonna go long with it. I just wanted to tell you I felt that.
This is your time, sis. You get your 3 minutes. You get your 3 minutes. Go get your 3 minutes. I'm a mute.
Let me go to chapter 6, section 5 of this manual. No, I'm joking. But what I need men to know, specifically my melanated kings, okay, my beautiful brown brothers, I need you to understand that you are needed. I think that's very, very, very important for a lot of different reasons. One, hearing what the brothers online have already stated is that you are seeking peace. You are seeking safe spaces. You are seeking a partner in a world where you can speak your piece. You can be heard, be seen, and be free, for lack of better words. And I want you to know that you are needed. You deserve that peace. You deserve that energy. But also understand that being needed comes with responsibilities. Similar to what Dion has said and whatever all the ladies thus far has stated, there's certain things we need you guys to come with. And I know Wayne spoke on the I can't remember the exact word he used, but the pressures that's specifically placed on Black men. I would love to have a conversation on what those specific pressures are, because I just want to know. But there are things we need from you, from my opinion, as a whole, that is not being executed. Now, I'm not saying it's y'all on the screen. I'm not saying it's all brothers, because I know amazing men. I've seen amazing men. I'm waiting on my amazing man. Like, it's out there, and I see it heavily, and I support and shout every time I see a brother doing their thing. But it comes with the piece that Dion said: hold your brothers accountable, and the men around you, even the ones you don't know, mentor some. I know Will North on the line, he mentors young brothers. Make sure that we pass on to the next generation and the current one and the ones in front of us as well, when we can, the things that we are learning that can help us work more cohesively together, because you are needed. Not only just providing financially, but you are mentally, physically, spiritually. Black men, and there's some variations of this because LGBTQ exists, but Black men and Black women go together. We need each other. And so if we aren't on the same page, if we aren't doing our individual roles that we are supposed to be doing, men and women, because there's some women not doing their part as well, then we're going to always need these conversations and have these conflicts. But I think the real part is saying, okay, for you as an individual in this relationship and societally, what are these things that we need specifically from you? And I hope that we can go deeper into that within this conversation. Because again, it's not just financially. That is a big part. That is a large part. But we need protection more than just you scrapping up with somebody in the street, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
We're going to talk about that, because the second follow-up question to that is how they can do better and what we need for them to do better. But I won't take too much time, I definitely want to say my piece really quickly on this and then turn it back over to you ladies on the back end of how they can do better, how they can meet us there in that healing space. Is I need for Black men to understand that I'm actually in this fight with you, not against you. I'm with you. We are back to back. I'm your eyes in the back of your head. I'm the ears when you listening over there. I'm listening over here. Like I am actually fighting these battles with you. You're not out here alone. You're not in the war fields alone. This is me and you against the world, right? Because I don't feel loved either. I don't feel loved by anyone. So I need Black men to understand that Black women feel neglected. We feel uncared for, unprotected, unbeautiful. We feel not good enough, even when we giving you everything we got. We pouring from empty cups. We don't have anything in the cup. We have to go and fetch the well to pour more into your cup. So I'm even more tired showing up to pour into your cup. But I need you to understand that I am tired too, and I'm against the world too. And the pressures you feel, I'm feeling them too. And we are in this together. And I don't feel enough. I feel out here alone. I don't want you to feel alone, but I feel alone. How can men do better?
I'm gonna let somebody else go first. I just wanted to let you know I was also shouting with you, because that is accurate facts. Okay, but somebody else can speak first.
I think the first thing that come to mind for me is like, I'm sorry, you got me in tears. Sorry. um for me, it's like get the mental health needed. Like I know y'all want to depend on us to talk to and we want to be there. I feel like all the men that I've spoken to in the recent months, they want a therapist because they talk to me like I talk to my therapist. And so I just need y'all to get help and go and get the therapy needed, however it looks for you. It may not be going and talking to a professional therapist. Maybe you have a men's group that you meet with. Maybe you have a mentor, but you got to talk to somebody and get it out so that you can work on the aggression, so that y'all can have the conversations y'all need. Because that's where that growth is going to happen. Like just working through the conversations in your head so you can have the conversations with the men around you that you need to have so that y'all can be the men y'all supposed to be and allow us to be the women we're supposed to be. I could say more, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
You said a lot, Dion, and you safe here, sis. So if you need to cry, cry. I think we don't allow ourselves that permission enough as Black women, but we gonna talk about that another time. Katrina, how can they do better?
I'm thinking. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things, but just like when somebody asks you to sing, you like, dang, what can I sing? um, I guess going back to the not feeling safe part of things. Granted, I've never felt unsafe around the men that I know, but I think that um how can I say it? Don't get mad at us because we say we feel unsafe, especially with our brothers. If you're hearing it in multiple places, granted, you may not see it, just like I may not see the women feeling unsafe per se, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening or that they don't feel such a way. I'll take, for example, maybe a party. It can be, our regular little juke parties, you know what I'm saying? And we'll be in the midst of having fun, and we might feel unsafe around some of our brothers because some of them don't know how to not handle us, but approach us. You want to grab us by the belt buckle, or you know what I'm saying, you want to hit us with the hey, what's up, shorties, and all of that. And this is like, I don't feel safe with you grabbing on me like this, and I don't even know you. You know, and if you see somebody making this woman feel unsafe, it's okay to step in. You ain't gotta step in, aggressive. That way he won't know that, he won't feel like, okay, we finna start some shit. No, no, no. I just want to let you know that, she's not feeling that. And you could take her away from that situation so that now she feels safe that, okay, I ain't got to worry about this man grabbing on me and ain't nobody around me. All these guys around me not making me feel like I'm protected. Granted, they might not know me from a can of paint, but the fact that you stepped in and saw what was happening, or you saw that I felt uneasy and you came to check on me as your sister, your cousin, a stranger, or whatever, that makes us feel hella better. That's probably the word. But it makes us feel better to know that we got some men around us that's watching us, and that they're not allowing certain things just to happen just because they don't know us. And I think that's all I can.
Facts. That's all I got. That's all I got on that, Katrina. Absolute facts on that. And that, there are women, I'm in that number with you of having lots of male protection, but that doesn't mean I don't see the unprotection as well. And so we need to recognize that just because it's not my story doesn't mean it isn't my sister's story. That men, we need y'all to help us stay safe. Shanae.
Yes, I just want to veggie back off of that. What my sister said. I really want to popularize us being family again, for real. You my brother. I'm your sister. If you see me walking down the street and it's 17 men trying to talk to me, and I'm not feeling unsafe, I'm gonna need you to step in as my brother and get me out of that situation, no matter if you know me or not. So I completely agree with you, sis. And also, men, we need you to understand us a little better. I know that's hard because we so complicated. But at the end of the day, man, we just want to be understood just like y'all. And I know one of my brothers said that you don't feel the safety. And one thing that really struck a chord with me is when you said, don't judge me for the things that I tell you. I'm gonna need that same respect too. If I say my body count is high, I don't need you to, look at me like, oh, whoa, oh, okay, well, I can't deal with her just because all these things she told me, so I just need that same thing reciprocated.
So I heard reciprocity in that, Shanae. You want reciprocity is what it is. Yes. Look, Dion, we connected. We connected, Dion. I was going there. Nat, how can our Black men do better by us, sis?
I want to say that all the women said something very important and a piece of what I have on my list. But the first thing I want to say is in conjunction with what the fellas actually said about social norms and masculinity and all of that. Release social norms. One thing that you can do to work with women better, Black women specifically, is to release social norms, because they're going to always put a whole lot on you and give you things that may not necessarily work with who you want to be. So release social norms and be the man that you want to be, regardless of what your friend gonna say, your mama gonna say, or whoever else gonna say. Be the man that you decide you want to be freely and release all those norms. What Dion said, amazing. It's real interesting because I feel emotions coming up during this conversation as well. But healing is so important for men and for women. And I think it's really important for men to have those safe spaces, but also, if you don't see those safe spaces, please create them for your brethren. Because if you want it, someone else wants it too. So another thing that you can do is work actively towards your healing consistently, and then create the spaces that you seek so that other men can have those type of spaces as well. Because healing, if we really start to articulate what's going on within us and working towards emotional literacy, which I think Wayne hit on very at the very beginning of the conversation, not knowing how to deal with emotions and different things that you may go through in life. If we really tackle that, both parts, men and women, we can get to a more beautiful space. Reflection is another thing. We talked about this on shows before where we kind of talked about people hopping from relationship to relationship without taking a second to be like, what went right, what went wrong, what did I do, what did they do, and really analyzing and seeing their faults, or even the things that they did great. Just reflection in general, I think, will help a lot of people, but specifically since we talked to the brethren, we're gonna do that. I definitely think transparency is something that I'm gonna need from y'all. And I know you said you know, the men on the line specifically, you all individually said the same thing, that you don't think you have the space, or men in general don't have the space to be transparent. And Brother Will, you recommend men don't be transparent. But
I didn't say that.
you didn't say that? Oh, you're supposed to be muted. Hold on, wait a minute. You're supposed to be muted.
Hey, you supposed to be muted. I was just gonna say that. You can't
Wait a minute. I was gonna engage, but you're supposed to be muted.
This is supposed to be, oh, we go just listen. Just listen.
But you know, I don't want to put no words in your mouth, but that's what I heard. Let me know later when it's your turn if that was wrong.
What he said, sis. I got you, Will, because I'm a woman, so I can speak. I don't have to be muted right now, so I got you. I'm gonna speak for you. I think what he was saying with that was to be selective about when and how you open up, because really make sure that this person is a safe space, and don't just, you know, be open. Don't wear your heart on your sleeve for everybody. Did I do a good job, Will? I did.
You gotta let them know it's safe.
I got you.
He gave you the thumbs up.
He gave me thumbs up.
I think transparency is important because that's the only way that we can truly understand each other. We are not mind readers. Men nor women are mind readers. And so if we're not 100% transparent and be able to listen and understand each other, we're going to always bump heads. So transparency is very important. And I agree that you do have to be mindful with who you are transparent with. But if a person that you're with can't handle your transparency, then that person can't handle you. And that's a sign that you should move on. But those are all things that I think men can do to fix.
Facts. I'm gonna say something small so we can move it on to the next part. I'm going to say I need men to trust you yourselves the way you want me to trust you. So like, you have to be the person that you want me to believe that you are, right? So if you also are saying to me, trust me, let me lead you, then be the leader. Show me that I can trust you. Show me that it's okay and I'm safe. Be everything for me that you say you need me to be for you. Show up for me the way you need me to show up for you. Back to that reciprocity, but keep that standard for yourself. Keep that same energy. That's what I need. I need for men to meet me where they want me to meet them at. So simple for me. We're gonna move on to the next question. And because we're already heading towards the 10 o'clock mark, and I want to have an open discussion piece where we can unmute and kind of, you know, connect on what everybody said, this next question is going to be a positive one, though, because I feel like we done unloaded a lot. So I wanted to sprinkle a little positivity in there. I was going to wait for the end, but since I want to have a discussion portion where we can all unmute and kind of talk and reflect together. What do you want to tell Black women? So this is for the Black men. Black women, I need you to know that I actually, so debunk something, take away a myth. I know a lot of times we may have it wrong about how you see us and how you think about us. So what's a myth that we have about how Black men feel about us that you want to like us to let go? What do we need to unlearn?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could say, but I didn't know this was going to come up. But there are a lot of stuff I would say. And first, let me preface it by, because again, I think there's some reference made to social media. We know that again, a lot of the loudest people on social media aren't may not reflect everybody, but because I always feel like some of those guys and influencers on social media always seem like when they try to be overly complimentary to women, you always seem like I always felt like they're pandering to them, and it's not in a sincere way. So I would always joke, like when the guy says, "I love my beautiful sisters," or whatever, when they say those kinds of things in those little comment sections, I'm like, oh, he's in her DMs, she's trying to do something. But I'm looking at your face, you acting like I'm right. What? Why are you looking like this?
See, Will, we need you to come back. Don't go down that road.
I know, but people are pandering to y'all. But okay, but I'm not pandering. So what I'm saying is for real. Okay. Honestly, just the love, not only that I have, but I know a whole lot of Black men. All right. And the love and the kind of just respect that we have for y'all. It's difficult, and it's difficult to me to articulate in words how much we love y'all. As the majority of Black men that I encounter, they love Black women, melanated brothers. We love y'all. Like it's oftentimes, because again, I have a lot of different friends. They talk about how this guy has said that or made this comment about anything, and I'm just saying, I love y'all hips, your curves, your style, the way you move through the way you move, and not in a objectifying way, but just in a way like, wow, that's when I see that, I see like a kindred spirit. I see I was talking to Natalie about this before. It's like you see your other half. Like we need each other. And I remember this this great leader who was assassinated, Sankara, over in West Africa. He always said that women hold up the other half of the sky. And so when I'm talking to people, I use that, especially when I'm talking to other men. I use it because he used it to show that we're both needed to move forward. So how can we hold up the sky when we need our other half to hold it up with us? How can we have a table when we're not considering or working with that other half? And so that means that men have to hold up our part too, but our sisters hold up the other half of the sky. And so I want y'all to know that and to realize how much brothers love you.
Yeah,
I need that on a shirt. I'm sorry, Tony. I need that on a shirt. We hold up the other half of the sky like that. Did you get warm and fuzzy? I got warm and fuzzy. I got the fuzzies. Thanks, Will. I needed that.
It's true. What he's saying is true. And I was literally going to say something, along the same lines, because I said earlier, I think that the loudest voices are kind of misconstrued as the majority, and that's just not the case. And I think that a lot of times there's this idea that, Black men are going to go date white women, or going to go out date outside of their race because they're more meek, they're more easy to get along with, and Black women are this and Black women are that. But once again, those are just loud minority opinions online. I've never heard somebody, maybe a couple people in my life, express those opinions as loudly as some of these motherfuckers in these comment sections. Like, people don't really feel that way. Like, Black men don't feel that way on a large scale. I think that a lot of times stuff like that is said in frustration. You might have just had an argument with your baby mom. You might have just had an argument with your wife or whatever. And you're like, see, this is how Black women are. But honestly, like Will said, we love y'all. And not just, in a sexual manner, not just necessarily as romantic partners. We love Black women. And, it can be kind of seen as like a toxic relationship when you talk about how Black men and their moms, especially like single moms, and that whole thing. But when you see how Black men treat Black women who they are not romantically interested in, a lot of times, you know, that friend, that cousin, the sister, the mom, that's a lot of times how Black men feel about Black women who they are romantically involved with. But there's just that wall of anger, that separation, that bitterness, and like the things that they say are filtered through that. And a lot of that is just anger that most of us don't agree with.
We need to hear that. We love y'all too, but I ain't gonna say nothing because that may be somebody's point. But we love y'all for real, for real. We love y'all too. Shanae, can you tell us? Wait, no, Wayne. I'm sorry, Wayne. You know what? I don't need no more wine, y'all. I don't need
What
no
I
more wine.
This is what I get.
Don't be forgetting that way.
Cut her off.
It's so many points that I definitely am gonna have to circle back to. Some stuff that Natalie said, some stuff that Shanae said, some stuff that Katrina said. I need Black women to understand that there is no one more committed, in my experience, there's no one more committed and more supportive of Black women and Black men. We support y'all. We are committed to y'all. That's the reason why we're even having these conversations right now. Because y'all have probably been in some situations where a Black man would not commit. And y'all see what that looks like. If we're not committed to it, we ain't doing it. It ain't shit you could tell us. It ain't nothing you could tell us because we feel like we've given up so much already. It's a lot, like I said, it's a lot of points that I want to circle back to, but I'll try to make it support this point that I'm getting at. Commitment doesn't just mean having something long term. Commitment means I'm going to hold on to this no matter what it takes. And I think that Black women have to understand that, yeah, that nigga might not be right. I'm not saying that you know, when you hit your limit, you hit your limit. But if you got a man that's willing to work to make himself better, and you can see the transition from one stage to another, it might not be at the speed you want, but damn it, he's coming up every step. He's taking steps to become better. I want Black women to know we are committed to y'all. That's the reason why we are still talking. That's the reason why we're here. Because we are committed to getting this shit right. No matter what the fuck it takes, we are committed to making this right. We are going to hold on to y'all no matter through whatever mistake I make, you make, we make. Damn it, I'm here. That's the reason why you can still talk shit. You can still talk shit because I'm here. Because if I wasn't here, if black men just decided at the National Nigga Caucus, it was like, look, man, we not dealing with the sisters no more. We finna go hop on these other ethnicities and see what they got going on. I'm telling you, we would let it go. But
I know I'm supposed to be muted, but I have a really important question.
yes.
Is there a Black Nigga Caucus?
If there was, we couldn't tell you.
We couldn't tell you.
I'm just wondering.
You ain't
couldn't
get
tell
them
you.
all. Why would they go to the Black Nigga Caucus?
Listen.
See, now I need some questions answered.
It might be in Memphis. I don't know.
Either you see the bat,
It sound like it's
or you don't. Either
I'm
you see
sorry,
the bat
Wayne.
or you don't.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna do some more investigation about this black nigga
I'm-
caucus. Let me write that in my notes.
But I just want black women to understand that when a man really finds somebody he's truly trying to make it work with, that man will stop at nothing to get better. And he wants you to be with him every step of the way. Because if you break off, or if you deviate, or if you say, well, you need to get your shit together. Yeah, I might need to get my shit together, but it's better if I get my shit together while you with me. Because then, if you not with me, then here comes the shooting and the gym effect. And here comes the bitterness that black women may have towards other black women, because they be like, I groomed that nigga to be everything he could possibly be. I put in so much work and you was right there. But before you broke through that wall in your relationship, in your personal history, in his personal history, before you broke through all the bullshit and trauma, you abandoned ship. So I hear when my sisters are sitting here and telling me that black men are needed. But it's hard to feel needed when you feel abandoned already. Because the government told y'all, we'll take care of y'all. Just as long as he ain't in the house.
We're gonna have to have a whole show about that. That topic in particular, because I think that is a misconception about why homes are broken. I was having this conversation with somebody, and a lot of it, which ain't what we gonna talk about, we gonna hit it over to the women, but I just wanted to say that is, believe it or not, a lot of our grandmothers, a lot of our women before us told us that we should demand and command better. They wanted us to not make the same mistakes they made. They wanted us to not go through the same struggles and heartaches that they went through, because at a certain point they weren't seen as people, and they didn't have certain accessibility to things. They didn't have independence. And so, we've taken it a lot to the other side. There's always that happy medium that I hope that we as Black women can get to for our next generation, where we can have that independence, but it's okay to be codependent with each other too, as well. And so we have to find that happy medium where we're still relying on each other, but we're also self-sufficient, because I have to be a person to show up for you. I can't be half of who I am and give that to you, because you deserve a person. You deserve a whole person. And so I think that is where that comes from. It's not the government. Yes, we have all these books, but a lot of people's grandmothers pulled us to the side and was like, hey, baby, don't do this. Don't be treated this way. We got older and we look back and we realized that our grandmothers were hurting, but we didn't see it that way because we didn't understand. And so that is why there's a lot of shying away from each other. But we gonna talk. I wanted to get into that here, but I know we winding down on time. And if y'all like me, I got to get up for work in the morning. I'm a little old too, so I be needing my whole hours of sleep. So I'm trying not to keep y'all
fresh
too late.
25. I ain't trying to hear none of that.
Exactly.
I know.
Stop.
Fresh 25.
You are fresh, yes.
Yes, I don't know.
Yes, Mr. Will. You see the 25? I'm 25.
Yeah, I'm not on mute anymore, so I took myself off mute. I had to
See that? You good, because you was giving me, you was saying some truth that needed to be heard on this Zoom. Everybody
The world needed to know that.
They
so
needed
it's okay.
to be reminded that I'm 25, maybe plus rush delivery, but I don't look a day over 25.
Don't calculate that.
You do, yes. So we lost Dion. Hopefully she'll pop back in with us, but I do want to hear from the ladies. What do men need to unlearn? What is a myth they have that they think about how we feel about them, that it is not true. And we need to break that down right now. We need them to know how we really feel. What y'all got? Shanae, you go first.
I'm ready. Look.
She was already on mute. Okay.
We need to let y'all know that strong Black woman shit is dead. Like, that's not the truth. Like, yes, we are strong, but we are soft. We are vulnerable. You know, we are fragile. We are all of those things. We're not just here made of armor, ready to take on the world. I don't need a man. No, we need you. I need all of that. I feel like, man, sometimes I just need a hug. And because I'm a strong Black woman, I can't just get a hug. You know, let's dispel that right now. Because just because, you know, I'm working 17 jobs, I'm holding down a household, you know, with or without a man, doesn't mean that I'm not still a woman. That doesn't mean I'm still not standing in my feminine energy in need of that masculine. So, yes, please let that go. That strong Black woman stuff, nah, we just vulnerable, precious women.
My God.
I'm saying.
My God.
All facts.
Came from the book on that one. My God.
Sometimes I don't want to wear that cape. I want to be weak today.
Can I give it to somebody else today?
Yes.
My God.
And is that okay? Can I just be weak today? You know, do I have to be a strong Black woman all the time? You know, I seen this one meme of this Black woman. She was drowning, literally drowning.
And they gave her a high five.
Somebody gave her a five. Like, go ahead, strong Black woman.
You so strong.
No, help me.
Help me.
Help
Pull me out. I'm drowning.
I'm drowning, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yes, please release us from that stigma that we too strong and we don't need y'all. That's a lie. A whole lie.
Can I piggyback off that? I need you to unlearn that why I need you portion. So I think that that's part of the culture that we need to have a conversation about at some point. And back to those societal standards of what it means to be a man. I do need you, but I may not need you to change my light bulb or pay my bills. I do like my bills paid, though. I don't know about y'all, but I like when my bills is paid. But I do need you. I need you for that hug. I need you that when I can't, you know, move, that you pick up the weight and you carry me the rest of the way. I need you to listen to me. I need you to make me feel validated because the world doesn't love me. I need to know that you love me. I need you to navigate this life because it ain't easy and I don't want to do it by myself. But we do need you. Yes, yes, yes. Katrina. Oh, did we lose you, Katrina? What do you need them to
unlearn? I feel like nowadays, because it seems as though a lot of women have started businesses and things of that nature, that I'm segueing back into what y'all was talking about, unfortunately, fellas. That a lot of the things that we do that we don't need y'all, but we, like they said, we do need y'all. I may come off as this strong, independent woman or whatever, or it may seem like, oh, I don't need a man because I can pick up this heavy ass TV by myself and some more shit. But I want you to step in and still be that man and pick up this fee. You know, just because I'm able to do a lot of things on my own that maybe might be something that a man should do. Like, oh, I can change my tire. That don't mean I don't need you to change my tire. It's okay to say, well, baby, let me go ahead and do that or whatever. Or even if I've already started and I say, I'm going to let you know pretty much, like, that's okay. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Versus, okay, I'm going to go out here and do it myself because I don't need no motherfucking man to help me change this tire because I know how to do it. No, I still want you to you know, come change this tire and lift this heavy stuff or whatever the case may be. We're gonna lift this heavy stuff together. Don't let us being able to do things that require strength, or because we out here hustling, out hitting it, don't let that make you think or make you feel like we don't need you or we trying to be the man of the house and things of that nature. No, we do want to be on an equal plane. And I know that's kind of arguments of for some men, it's like, okay, y'all want to be equal, but when this, that, and the third come along, y'all don't want to do dot, dot, dot. No, that's not the case for every woman, I should say. Because you do have some women who, want to be catered to hand and knee, and they ain't finna break their fingernails or they fresh, nails to do something. But overall, I'm just saying that woman who may come off as independent, don't need no man, she needs your ass, okay? That's it, okay? She still needs you to lift the heavy shit and stuff sometimes, even though she can too.
Facts.
And that's it.
I had to carry my groceries in the other day because I went to the store when Robert wasn't home. Yeah, very ghetto. Give it 0 stars. Would not recommend.
I'm not gonna play with you.
Would not recommend. I like low key. Y'all could judge me. I don't care. I called this man like, hey, you busy at work? Cause I got these bags in the car. And he was like, I'm gonna be a little longer. Can it wait? I was like, it kind of can't wait. Oh, I was stumping all in here, slamming doors, putting the groceries up. I was mad at Jewel. I was so mad at Jewel. Yeah, so yeah, I don't want to be that strong. I had to move a dresser once. Actually, negative 0 stars. It was like, oh no, ever again. I was like, look, after I moved that dress, I was like, I need to be in somebody's kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, cooking dinner. This is not the life for me.
You play all day.
I am not. So I do need you to do some heavy lifting. Good points, Katrina. Thank you. And Dion, welcome back.
Sorry. Hey, I'm back. Yeah, I had to do some finagling with technology, so I'm on my iPad now.
We totally get it. Can you tell our men what you need them to unlearn, what they may have got misconstrued about how we really feel about them?
Yeah. Even though I think I'm speaking for myself. I think that there's this idea that we don't love y'all. And I know somebody started saying that maybe, and I know I got cut off. So if somebody said this already, sorry. But even though I'm in the situation I'm in with the men that I'm involved with, I still love them. Like, I can't deny it. It's something that I had to come to terms with. I was really angry at myself for that. Like, how could you still have these feelings for people who don't care about you? But I know they still love me too. It's just weird. They don't know how to function within that space. And so, like, there is no love lost. It's still there. And then somebody mentioned, was it you, Sante? I don't remember, but the whole ride or die is like, yeah, no, but for real, like, we really would do anything for y'all. Like, there's men in my life who are not significant others or not anything significant at all. And there's very little that they couldn't ask of me. And we're not even romantically involved. So, like, I just want that to be very clear, regardless. Like, that's why we get so mad at y'all. It's like, oh, I can't stand him. He's so stupid because I love him. God. Like, we get all angry. We so emotional because we love y'all dearly, fully, all of us, all of ourselves, our whole DNA be like, oh, damn. We'd be like, oh, but why? But why, God? No, I'm kidding. That's what I want y'all to know. Like, we can't even understand it. We don't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about. But I just know that it's infinite and there's nothing I can do about it. I accept it. It's the whole, like, I accept, thank you type sitch.
Facts. All facts. I'm gonna say something real quick, then I'm gonna let Nat have it. I need black men to realize that I actually do believe in y'all. And that's how I'm able to get disappointed. It's because I do believe in you. It's because I do have you on this pedestal and you are all of these magnificent things. So when something happens where you're not fitting there, I'm, I'm combobulated. I'm like, I'm confuzzled. I don't get it. I'm lost. I'm angry. I'm hurt because I do believe in you. I think you can conquer the world. I don't think there's anything that you can't accomplish. I am your biggest cheerleader. I am gonna make sure that I'm your biggest marketer, right? I'm gonna make sure I'm your publicist. Sorry, y'all. So y'all need to cut the wine off. I can't even speak. But I do believe in y'all. This is why I can get disappointed. I know that there's this disbelief that I don't believe in y'all. I only see you as failure. No, it's the opposite. It's how I get disappointed because I do have this bar set high. So we believe in y'all. We know y'all magic too. Y'all out here doing things. And we just want y'all to believe in y'all too so y'all don't make those mistakes. What you got, Nat?
That's actually really along the lines of my point as well. What I need y'all to understand and unlearn is that I already stated one, that you're not needed because you absolutely are. And then my sisters have already said it so beautifully. Thus, I have been over here shouting the entire time. But the second part of that is that you are worthy. I started talking about it a little bit earlier, but I need you to know that even when life tells you you're nothing, when the images you see tell you that you're less than, that you are the absolute truth source in the original. You are amazing. I'm talking to every black man out there, whether you locked up right now on the corner, broke, 6 figures, 16 figures, I don't care. You are amazing. And similar to what Sante just said, and Dion actually, there is not much you can't ask of me. I'm a supporter. I'm a doer. You want to do it? I'm going to pay for it. We're going to figure it out together. We're going to ride it, whatever it is, because you are amazing. But the thing about that is, and I had to learn it, is that I can't fall in love with your potential when you have it. You are worthy, regardless of what anyone else says, but you have to step into your worthiness. You can be amazing all day long, but you have to choose to be amazing, because you can choose to be trash. You're still amazing, but you choosing to be trash, whatever it may be. So we can love you all day long. We can believe in you all day long. We can be there to support you all day long, but you have to step into that amazingness. You have to step into that worthiness, that power that you are already born with. It's in your DNA. We love you. We can't not love you. Like Dion said, sometimes it's like, why I love you so much? I love every single black man. I ain't even got to know you. I love you. And you are worthy. You are amazing in every fiber of your being. I love you. But you have to love you. You have to reach that potential. You have to know that you are worthy and live in that. And it comes with healing and all of that. But every drop of you, black women love. We just want you to love it too. And see that you're worthy, believe that you're worthy, and start moving in that energy. And that's it.
Facts, y'all. How we feeling? I felt like we got a lot out there. Wayne, is your hand raised that you want to unmute? Everybody can unmute now. So now we can talk. Oh, we gonna talk after we just listen.
So let me tell you what I got to say about y'all.
Let's talk.
Don't go with that, Tony.
Oh goodness.
Okay,
I think.
go ahead, Wayne. No, Wayne, go.
I think we've already kind of discovered the fundamental problem that we kind of gloss over. And the fundamental problem is both of us is looking for who the fuck is going to go first. And I think that that's a problem in our culture because everybody wants to guarantee that you're not going to get played, that you're not going to get abandoned, that everybody wants you to take the first step. Listen, fuck that shit. How can we start taking the first step together?
Hold
That's
hands.
the problem.
I agree with that, and I think that's so important because I've always said come 100, like from the door. And Sante be like, she be at the first date, like, look, these are my flaws, blah blah blah. But
Right
I
out the
think
gate.
are open, we make things harder. Dating and communicating, relationships can be so it can all be so simple.
It's the things that it's not the complex things that we fuck up. It's the simple things that we fuck up in relationship. Between black men, one black man to another. I should be able to check a black man without it becoming violent.
Yeah. And see, that's why, you know, and I hope I ain't cut you off, Wayne, but that's why I had to like disagree with my good brother Will a little bit because, and here's why. I understand where you're coming from, but when you shield that part of yourself, basically you're putting up this facade of who you are. And my thing is, and this isn't just in romantic relationships, but this is just like how I interact with the world. And I've gotten to this point where I feel like I'm going to give you who I am. And if that's too much for you, I promise you, I'm cool with that. Because now both of us know that this ain't going in the direction that we want it to go, or we, you know, hoped it would go, or whatever. Like, I need you to know that these are my standards. Oh, that's not you? Cool, I'm out. Like, let's enjoy this meal and peace out. Maybe we'll follow each other on
You
Instagram.
need to give each other the option to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
That is what was big with me. Like when I met Robert, I was like, hey, listen, I like you, but let me go ahead and give you this disclaimer. These are my flaws. If this is too much, let's not waste time. Let's figure this out, what we gonna do with this. But if you ain't serious after hearing this, at least you know, so you can make an informed decision of how you want to invest your time in me, because that's something we don't get back. And I do think that it's super important that we show up authentic, because how do we ever really know that love is for real? How do we even really know that that person is genuine about us if we're giving them our PR agents? We all have, you know, our PR agent that come out and they tell us, look, that's what it is. It's your PR agent.
All
your
of us do it.
relations.
All of us do it. I promise you, all of us do it.
Yeah,
all of us do it, and we need to
the
not.
representative. You know, you send your representative out first.
Yes. I'm here to make this statement on behalf of Sante Harden Tate about, you know, no, I need you to see my good, my bad, and my ugly. And if you still love it,
but that's the thing, and I think that's another fucking problem. But we have to understand. Okay, first and foremost, black women, black men, stop putting a motherfucking time limit on when you're supposed to have a man or a woman. Stop saying I need to have a child by this. Stop saying shut the fuck up. Sorry, I have to tell you the truth. Shut up. And the reason why I'm telling you to shut up is because statistically, you don't start knowing someone intrinsically until you've passed the 3-year mark in a relationship. So you trying to insinuate what are we doing or whatever the case may be, that shows that you don't have any faith or any investment in the relationship's future. Because if you're asking what are we doing and you don't feel like you've been building that entire time with that person, that's fucked up and you wasted your time.
Come on, Wayne.
So you have to understand that it's not you're gonna be in a honeymoon phase for 6 months to 3 years. You shouldn't be talking about or entertaining marriage or nothing like that until after that.
Yes.
Because you have 3 faces. I mean, can you do it in shorter time? Yes.
And I think it really also depends on where you are in your life at that point, because you're gonna go through different phases and different stages of your life. So I'm not the same person I was I'm still, you know, to the core who I was when I met my husband. But we met each other at 20 years old. I'm 38. I'm telling my real age, y'all.
No,
I'm 38.
But
I won't be sharing mine.
thing about
I'm legit 38 and we met at 20. And so, I ain't know we didn't get married until I was 27, almost 28. So we were in it for a bit before we did it. We were already parents before we did it. But so I agree with the timeline and not feeling like it has to come boom, 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 boom. It doesn't happen like that always. But I also think that depending on where you at in life, you got a pretty good understanding of what your non-negotiables and your negotiables are. And you have a pretty good sense of self at a certain point in your
I
life.
don't think that's what he's saying. I think what he's saying is that you can't truly expect to know that, or somebody else to know that you are their person for life in this short amount of time. And not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's not about love, it's about compatibility. And especially as you get older, like, love is great. Like, if you get both, cool. And I'm not saying settle, but if you're like, all right, I love the shit out of you, but you got a 300 credit score and I am trying to get to this point in my life. I love you, but you got liens on your house and I'm like at this point in my life. Like, that shit is not compatible. I love you, but I have 3 children and you don't want kids. That doesn't work. And it's hard, even being transparent, it's hard to know those things within the first few months of you all dating. Like, it's really hard to know those things. And it's like, those butterflies have to go
Especially if
away.
you're not being transparent.
Yeah, but no, it's not.
I need to address
You
transparency.
believe you are, but once again, those butterflies have to go away before you start seeing the real shit. You're like, oh my God, I just love that thing that they do. And then, like, after 2 years, you're like, no, actually,
That is annoying
your
as
ass
hell.
got issues, and I can't deal with that. Like, that shit.
Yeah.
You marry that in 6 months, you stuck with it. Like, I think I may be mistaken, but I think that's what Wayne is saying.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like, you have to understand, I have to love your bad habits, and I have to love you enough to help you work on them.
Yeah, facts. Will
Exactly.
had his name, not Tony Will,
Okay.
Will North, not the Tony Will. The Will North has his hand raised. Go ahead, Will.
Okay, just so a couple of things. Again, before we close, a couple of sisters mentioned this idea around expanding our idea of family, because I know we all, in terms of relating to protection, right? Like, a lot of times I'll hear guys say, well, I protect my wife or I protect my sister or whatever. Yeah, you should have a broader conception of your family and protect that other sister who you don't even know, just and think of yourself in that way. Because, I remember this one, a friend of mine was talking, she said, shoot, okay, you protect your wife, you should. You're like a dog. You're supposed to be a dog. It just made me laugh. She was funny. She was criticizing the guys for saying that, but I thought it was cute. But in real. But also, I wanted to address transparency, because I think that transparency is very important. So I had to address my sister Natalie for bringing that up, saying I have an issue with that. No, I was speaking more so around conversations, right? We have conversations with certain people in our lives. We have other conversations with other people in our lives. And there's things that we say, like, I work with teenage boys, and I'm between the ages of 12 and 18. Conversation I'm going to have with an 18-year-old in some spaces, even though we're in a shared space, some spaces I might take him aside, the 18-year-old, and say something different, or the content might be a bit different, or what I share about my life, his life, might be different than a 12-year-old. I have different conversations with my grandmother and my grandfather than I do with some of my partners, some of my homeboys, like I do. And when I don't, it feels really weird, right? So I've had conversations with my grandfather about sex, and and later in his life, I didn't want to have that conversation, but I found myself in that situation. What do you do when this 80-some-year-old guy decides to share his beliefs on sex, various sexual positions with you, and you just wanted to say hello and give him a hug, and you were about to dip, right? So
he was trying to. No, you said 80.
Yeah,
what he was doing was he was passing down some of the information. You gotta listen to your ancestors. He was trying to the rich. He was.
We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline, and I will tell you what he was saying, and I'll tell Natalie too. And so you'll see if you think that knowledge should be passed on.
He hit you with a wealth of knowledge that you did not ask for.
Yeah, and that's what it was. That's what it was. So again, there's different conversations you're going to have. I'm not saying that you're not going to be your authentic self. I'm simply saying that there are different conversations, And as we get to know, whoever we are, we have to decide and be very intentional about how we have those conversations and what we're going to express. And lastly, one of the biggest challenges I have when we're trying to get new mentors working with the boys is transparency. So I'm big on transparency. I think it's necessary when you're trying to have a relationship where you're leaning on each other, where you're trying to build each other up and have faith in one another, to have that level of transparency. So absolutely, in certain spaces you have to open up, and I'm not in any way suggesting not to do that. I'm simply saying that there's certain conversations we need to be very intentional about the conversations and who we're having these conversations. That's what I meant.
I'm just messing with you, Will. I know you put
we know you had good intentions in it. I think that may have been a little bit of a trigger, honestly, for us, just because women, we actually fear when we don't have emotional accessibility to our mates or to other people. So when you're talking about not sharing certain things, like, that's part of how we build trust and protection. That exchange of emotion and communication, me feeling safe to express to you like how I feel, what my thoughts are, and you got to feel that way for me too. So if I'm spilling all my beans and all my guts to you and I don't get anything, I don't trust you then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you shouldn't do that. If somebody's sharing, that's an exchange. If somebody's sharing some of their personal life, you need to do that too, or you need to cut it off and say, hey, no, I don't feel comfortable going in that direction yet. So no, absolutely, because it's in balance at that point.
I think also it's about the timing as well, because I've had guys be very transparent with me about certain things that it was just like we just started talking 10 minutes ago, literally. Literally, I called Natalie and told her about it.
He liked you. That's the thing. He liked you so much. I don't know how
that's cool. But it was just too much, too fast. It was a little much. I wasn't ready. I didn't even know him. It was too much. It was too much, too fast. It was like stuff again, going back to that men talk to me like I'm their therapist type of situation. It's like, hold up. Not yet. I can be that one day when this is pillow talk and we've been here for 15 years and this is what we do now.
Hey, it's like 15 years to get some pillow talk.
I'm saying that's our routine now. We've been doing this for a while. Look, I'm not saying
Miss Dion out like that.
I know I just talk stuff.
Right. I'm saying this is what we've been doing for the past 10 years. Stop trying to come for me. Anyway,
with y'all. Don't worry about
what I'm getting at is that, like, I get it of not being too transparent too fast, but transparency is always valued in relationships when you're supposed to be communicating and stuff. Because I found out after getting divorced about some things that we should have seriously gotten. I was trying to get therapy. The feeling wasn't mutual, but then I found out some stuff after getting divorced that he had been holding on to before we even got married, before we had a kid, anything. I'm like, wait, so that happened like years ago and you never said anything until now.
I think that goes to Wayne's point about really getting to know a person, and then Tony's point about getting past the butterflies so you can really see a person, their habits as a full person and not just like, oh, they're so fine or whatever it may be, so that we can make a clear judgment, because starry eyes will make you miss a whole lot, honey. Listen, look at me. You hear me talking to you?
Ignore, not just start, miss it, blatantly ignore it.
Like it ain't there.
Yeah.
I also think Shanae want to say something because I saw her notebook.
Go ahead, sis.
I saw the notebook lift.
Saw the notebook.
Yes, I want to touch back on the point. First of all, thank you, all you men, for really, really sharing. I really appreciate, y'all honesty. I really appreciate all of that. And one thing that I was getting that you guys were saying is that you guys don't feel that you're handled with care. That we really put this whole bag of this what you're supposed to do and this is what you're supposed to be, and we're not handling you with care. And for that, I think that was a great takeaway, for women, because we always put these men in this place where, so you're supposed to be strong, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, provider, protector. But, they need a hug too. They need somebody to talk to too. They need, to decompress after a long day. So I think that's real unfair to just, always put that on a man and they never have somewhere to go. So I really appreciate, just being the ones to speak up and say that, because a lot of people want to say that, but it's like, but I don't want her to think I'm weak though. So I'm not gonna say that. And I just want you to know that we are here to create more safe spaces where you can, or at least let women know that, hey, be that safe space where your man can, because he needs that, just like you need that. So yes, Black men, we want to handle y'all with care too. Just like we want to be handled with care, y'all deserve it as well.
So that's very important.
Very important. Before we hop off this live, I need us all to make a virtual promise that we gonna just do better by each other. Like it all it takes is one little step, and I'm hoping that this conversation really resonates with everybody out there listening. It definitely hit me in a lot of ways. And I want to make sure that we're listening to understand and not listening to respond. We spend so much time talking about my pain trumps your pain. And in the midst, we all still hurting. Nobody's getting better. We're both hurt. So it doesn't matter who hurts the most at this point. What matters is that we hurt at all. So I am hoping that this is truly going to resonate with everybody, not just the men, but you ladies as well. All of you on here, for just really putting your heart out there, putting your thoughts out there. That is really probably a lot of stuff y'all haven't even spoke out about or in a public space. So to be able to do it on the internet, this is out there now. We on the internet. And you guys did this. I'm just so grateful for you all. Thank you guys so much for having this conversation. And y'all gonna come back? Y'all feel safe? We didn't scare y'all away.
Y'all ready?
I think I might be done.
Tony, you don't get to leave.
You's alive.
You don't get to leave. You in it now. You don't get to go. I was trying not to volunteer you, but since
volunteer.
But since you thought you had a choice.
Let me go ahead and let you know. Handle with care. This is exactly.
This that energy.
I don't feel protected right
now. Oh, yeah.
Right after we had this powerful conversation.
I'm sorry, Tony. You are not allowed to leave. But it's for your protection.
Like I said, I said.
You said the same thing in a softer voice, but okay, go on.
But I said it's for your protection.
Right. You just woman-splained to me why I gotta take that.
Woman-splain.
Woman-splain.
Thank y'all for kicking it with us tonight. Good night.